My name is Jose Rodriguez. They used to call me Rod, and then later on I picked up the nickname of Jumpin' Joe. Today's date is October the 10th, 2014. We're at Rayford, North Carolina, and it's the National Museum reunion. I started jumping in 1958. I was in the 82nd Airborne, and then I was stationed in different places and all that. And along the way, I learned to skydive, started skydiving, and in '64, I was in Vietnam, and we helped start the Saigon Skydiving Club. And then after that, I came back, went to Fort Lee, Virginia, and I was an instructor in heavy drop, and my boss came in and told me I was going to be teaching only one student. And that one student happened to be someone that came from NASA, and they wanted to learn how to do airdrops. These airdrops were radio controlled using a new parachute called a Parawing. So he showed me pictures of it. After, as we were training, I asked him if they had personnel wings, and he said no. I said, well, I like to make one. Can you bring me the instructions on how to make one? And he says, give me your weight, I'll put it in the computer, and I'll have you all the dimensions that you'll need. So following week he brought them, and we brought them on Monday, and on Friday I had a Parawing ready to jump. So he followed me out to the drop zone and made a jump with it, and he liked it. He said, will you come to NASA and show your Parawing to Francis Regalo? Francis Regalo is the inventor of the Parawing. So I did, and I jumped with it, came in, landed right in front of him, saluted him, and Francis said, can I look at your Parawing and inspect it? I said, sure. He looked at it, and then he said, how would you like to come to work with us? I said, well, we're kind of short instructors right now at Fort Lee. He said, I didn't ask you if you were short instructors. I asked if you want to come work with us. And I said, sure, I'd love to. And within 2 days, I had orders, and I was assigned to work in the kite room at NASA at Langley Air Force Base. But my place of assignment was Aviation Material Laboratories at Fort Eustis, Virginia, which is right across the street from Langley Air Force Base. Worked on the Parawing for several years, a couple of years, and then the Golden Knights helped me out because we were running short on time. We had a Southeast Asia Priority 1 mission, and we got it done, and I went to Vietnam with the equipment. It was radio controlled. I would jump out at 30,000 feet, 10 miles from the drop zone or from the A camp, and glide back to the A camp, so that way the enemy never heard or saw the airplane. And I would come in, land, and I'd bring in the radio control, which at that time then I'd turn it on, and at 4 o'clock in the morning the drops would be made, and I would bring them in. They'd home in on this radio signal. And long story short, I made 2 actual combat jumps with it, and 9 big demo jumps for the VIPs coming from Washington, congressmen, senators, and you know what. After that, I returned back to the States, and I was informed I could go ahead and be assigned anywhere I'd like. And I said, I want to go back to Vietnam with the Special Forces because I've been there 9 months, 3 more months, and I'll have a tour. They said, okay, so I went back. Now, after I finished that tour, I was sent to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I work with the 82nd Sport Parachute Club with Spider Rin, and we put that club back together, and for 5 years we got it up and running, and it turned out to be a pretty good club. I also opened up my own business off base, manufacturing a lot of the harnesses and packs for individuals on the U.S. team. And matter of fact, Cheryl Stearns jumped my equipment in the competition when she won the nationals. I invented the R2 canopy release. And have the patent on it. I now have 6,005 jumps. I jump not as much as I'd like to, but I still jump about every month or two. I'll jump 1 or 2 jumps. I'm now living in Mexico. Been there for the last 7 years. I like it over there because it's not as dangerous as it is here. I work with the military airborne units there, and training them on Halo, and I really enjoy working over in Mexico. The Mexican Army, by the way, has gone all airborne. Everybody, all your clerks, your doctors, your lawyers, everybody has to be jump qualified. And that's what I do now. Is that 10 minutes?